It's Tuesday, November 14th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a Milford man injured during an armed robbery, Norwalk police and family asking for cold case tips, and much more. Frank Granito has your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports Update, and Donna Lang will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, in New Canaan, a dog and an electronic fire alarm system combined to alert homeowners at 50 Hemlock Hill Road early Tuesday morning that a fire was burning in their basement. Now, New Canaan Fire Department was called to the residents, and firefighters found a small fire burning and they extinguished it with minimal damage. That, according to Fire Marshal Fred Baker. Well, faulty construction may have contributed to that blaze. Upon arrival shortly after 2:54 a.m. and with the use of thermal imaging cameras, firefighters found a small fire burning behind a wall in the finished basement. Now, according to Baker, it was discovered that access to the fireplace ash dump wall was walled over when the basement was finished, and no one was the wiser. To compound the matter, the door to the ash pit was not properly installed, allowing hot embers to fall into the wall cavity, starting that fire. Now, the homeowner said they use the fireplace frequently. Baker said the homeowners were very lucky that the fire was discovered early and that they were alerted by their alarm system, both canine and electronic. And in other news, the Norwalk Police Department and the families of two murder victims are asking the public for help solving the 2011 cold case. Police, with the family of Rakita Smalls and Iroquois Alston, made a public plea yesterday requesting that anyone with information about their murder contact investigators. Now, Smalls and Alston were shot to death in a vehicle on August 6, 2011 on Avenue B. The state of Connecticut has offered a $50,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for their deaths. Now, there are several ways to share information. Anonymous internet tips can be left at norwalkpd.com. Calls can also be made to police at 203-854-3011 or the cold case hotline at 866-623-8058. And a Milford man was injured during an armed robbery this past weekend on Wood Avenue. According to Milford police, the attack occurred November 11th at about 2:30 in the morning. A man and woman arrived back at the man's Wood Avenue residence, and the man parked his car, and while he and the woman were still inside, they were attacked by two men. Now the man who was attacked was taken to the hospital due to severe injuries to his head and face from being pistol whipped. Now, at this time, it is believed the suspects were lying in wait, police said. The two suspects were armed with handguns. One stole cash and a cell phone from the male victim. The other suspect stole the woman's cell phone and jacket. Now, the suspects are described as a black man and a Hispanic man. No further description is available. They were last seen leaving the area in a gray four-door SUV by a witness immediately after the attack. More on that story at milfordmirror.com. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a day laborer from Guatemala was arraigned Monday on murder charges stemming from the death of Lois Colley, a socialite found bludgeoned to death in her North Salem home 2 years ago. Edris Marijuan Gomez pleaded not guilty to several charges, including second-degree murder, and was remanded into custody. Now, police said Gomez was identified as the suspect back in November 2015, just days after 83-year-old Colley was found dead in the laundry room of her 300-acre estate that she shared with her husband Eugene, who amassed a fortune by operating more than 100 McDonald's franchises. Now, authorities said a pin from a fire extinguisher was found next to Colley's body. The extinguisher, which police believe was the murder weapon, was found days later in a pond on the property. Well, inside a plastic bag that then bore traces to Colley's DNA. Police said Gomez, who was also known as Victor, fled to Guatemala within days of the killing, but was later located in Mexico. He was taken into custody recently by federal agents while traveling through Miami. Lois Colley and her husband were known for their charitable giving, and she was said to be fond of gardening, tennis, and horseback riding. And Milford police arrested a Milford man November 12th who reportedly threatened to sic Satan on them if they didn't get off his property. On November 12th at about 4:45 p.m., Milford police responded to a Home Acres Avenue residence on a noise complaint. Well, according to police, when officers arrived, they saw the resident, 47-year-old John Kate, listening to music in his driveway and acting irrationally. Officers yelled to Kate to turn the music down, but due to the volume, he did not hear, and officers had to get closer. Well, when Kate saw the officers, he yelled for them to get off his property or he would bring Satan to their souls, police said, adding that he repeated that several times. Officers again asked Kate to lower the volume, at which point police said Kate got into his vehicle and drove it in the direction of officers. Then he turned and drove over a neighbor's lawn, eventually coming to a rest in the rear of his own yard. Kate then tried to elude apprehension by hiding in a garage and was shot with a stun gun, police said. He was charged with breach of peace and attempted assault of a police officer. And according to the Wilton Bulletin, about 100 people anxious to show intolerance of race, religion, gender, or ethnicity is not acceptable in Wilton took to the sidewalks on November 11th. Now, they walked peacefully from the Wilton train station to and around Wilton Center, where they assembled on the town green and chanted. Now, they carried signs that said no tolerance for intolerance, stand up to bigotry, hate is easy, love takes courage, and similar sentiments. Now, that walk was organized by Scott Milner of Weston and Susan Cutler of Wilton in response to recent events that included Nazi swastika graffiti found in the bathroom at Middlebrook School, as well as a note that said Jews will burn stuck on a sixth grader's locker, as well as damage to a building on the grounds of the Hindu temple. Now, Milner, his wife Marcella Penarata, and his brother Arthur Milner earlier in the day had attended the Veterans Day Parade and ceremony, carrying signs thanking Wilton veterans for their service. And there's a lot more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. But taking a turn now, we're going to throw it over to Frank Granito to get a look at your forecast. Frank, it's kind of a dark day out there.
Yeah, for right now it is, Kate, and we're going to be staring down some intervals of sun and clouds through the afternoon. Mostly cloudy right now. We could see a passing shower in the next 90 minutes or so, but there should be a couple periods of sun later on in the day. Highs of around 45 this afternoon, lows of 32 overnight with partly cloudy skies heading into Wednesday. Tomorrow morning, looking to be a little more sunnier outside. We'll see partly sunny skies through the day. Temperatures closer to 50 degrees through the afternoon. Mostly cloudy overnight, though, and increasing cloud cover as we head to the late hours. Could see passing showers that are going to carry into your morning commute on Thursday. Thursday looking like it's going to be the warmest day of the week. Temperatures up into the mid-50s, but we will see some morning showers that carry right around to the midday. Cloudy through then, but it should start to clear up a little bit later on in the day. Mostly clear Thursday night and a low of 35. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Lang will join us to give us a look back on this day in history. Frank will have your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news after this.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Whether you're looking for a great test prep program, tutoring to boost your grades, or a blast-off tour with the college of your dreams, C2 Education is here to help. There is nothing one-size-fits-all about our programs. We offer customized tutoring and test prep for each student. Call us today at 203-423-3328.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
My advice to an 8th grader would be to really investigate all that prep has to offer for you.
Welcome to Prep! Fairfield Prep is announcing an additional exam date of Saturday, December 2nd. Register today at fairfieldprep.org.
If you've ever thought about owning...
Welcome back to this November 14th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. It's time to throw it over to Donald Eng to get a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it was a sad day in West Virginia. First, though, we're going to go back to 1851, a sad day for English literature students. Moby Dick by Herman Melville was published in the U.S. It's a part travel book, part technical whaling manual, and occasional Shakespeare and musical theater. The book was a massive flop, out of print when Melville died in 1891. It's only been rediscovered in the last 60 years or so. Although according to the American Book Review, the opening line, "Call me Ishmael," the most well-known in literary history. 1957, 60 years ago, the Appalachian meeting in rural Tioga County, upstate New York, raided by law enforcement. About 60 high-level mafia figures arrested while trying to flee, including Vito Genovese, Carlo Gambino, and Joey Bonanno, among others. Police in the rural county couldn't help but notice the dozens of luxury cars parked all over the town, and when they ran the registrations, virtually all of them came back registered to known or suspected mobsters. Ultimately, the raid resulted in only a handful of convictions, but the publicity did bring unwanted attention to mob activity. 1968, Yale University announces it will begin admitting women, the first of the Ivy Leagues to do so. That's Amy Solomon there, the first woman ever accepted to Yale. In 1983, Columbia was the final Ivy League school to go co-ed. Believe it or not, the men that ran the Ivies somehow convinced themselves that women wouldn't want to go there. This year, Yale's incoming freshmen include 2,681 women in the freshman class of 5,446. Finally, now we go to 1970 for this.
A ragged rim of splintered trees on a hill close to Huntington's Tri-State Airport shows where the DC-9, carrying the Marshall University football team and others, scraped yesterday before piling into the next hill. Special FBI agents are working over the charred remains of the planes, 75 passengers and crew. At least 46 of the bodies are those of Marshall football players and coaches. National Transportation Safety Board Director, John Reed, is in Huntington, where he is beginning a month-long probe of the tragedy. Federal officials say the aircraft's flight recorder has been recovered and forwarded to Washington for analysis. It was the only...
Of course, a charter jet carrying most of the Marshall University football team crashes about 2 miles away from the airport in Canova, West Virginia. The team was returning from a 17-14 loss to East Carolina, the only game that year that they flew to. 37 football players on the plane, also the team's coaches, its doctors, the university's athletic director, 25 team boosters, most of whom were prominent members of the Huntington, West Virginia community. That's your look back in history for today, November 14th, 1970. I'm Donald Eng.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Well, in other local news, it looks like it'll be up to the new Stratford Town Council to pass a town budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. Now, the outgoing councilors were unable to reach a consensus on a $220.35 million spending plan for the fiscal year on Monday night. Council members voted 5-4 against taking the budget proposal off of the table. Earlier in the evening, councilors opted to table the budget presented by Mayor John Harkins to discuss a proposed amendment from Council Minority Leader Vincent Chase that would have reduced the proposal by about $2 million. Now, even a 40-minute recess to talk about the plan did not yield a consensus. Year-long differences between the councilors and Harkins have resulted in there not being a budget in place for 6 months after the May 12th charter-mandated deadline. There's more on that story at StratfordStar.com. And in Milford, a developer wants to build apartments on property that historians say is burying ground for Milford's founders, and several local groups are rallying to fight the plan. The property at 67 Prospect Street, part of the home lot of Milford founder Peter Pruden, was Milford's first cemetery, and founders of Milford are buried there, according to local historians who told that to the Board of Aldermen at a meeting last week. Now, the Reverend Peter Pruden was leader of the Hertfordshire group that founded Milford in 1639 and the first pastor of the First United Church of Christ. Now, Patrick Rose of Fairfield filed an application with the Planning and Zoning Board August 30th to build 44 one-bedroom units and 1,269 square feet of office space at that site. Now, the application notes that the single-family home on the site will be demolished and trees would be taken down. More at milfordmirror.com. And access to the eastern end of Connecticut's most popular state park will be closed until January. While people can still walk the beach to the Meigs Point area of Hammonasset State Park in Madison, access on roads and trails is prohibited. Now, the DEP posted that the road to Meigs Point east of the Rotary at Hammonasset will be closed to the public due to utility and road construction work. The Meigs Point Nature Center is currently closed as well, according to officials. Now, vehicle, pedestrian, and bike traffic is prohibited on all roadways and paths at the east end of the park. Pedestrian access is permitted on the beach throughout the park. Now, access to the east end of the park and roadway is expected to be restored in January 2018. The project consists of replacing all major existing utilities and expanding natural gas throughout the park. And in other news, the Nature Conservancy will hold its annual controlled deer hunt at Devil's Den Preserve in Weston during the state-designated shotgun and rifle hunting season, which runs through Tuesday, December 5th. Now, the purpose of the controlled hunt, which had been held each fall since 2001, is to improve and maintain forest health by reducing the deer population. While the hunt will take place on the following weekdays only, November 16th, November 20th to the 22nd, November 27th to November 30th, and December 4th and 5th. Now, Devil's Den will be closed to visitors on these days, and signs will be posted at all public entrances to the preserve. The Conservancy requests that residents and their families and guests refrain from visiting the preserve on those days. And in other news, tickets to the 24th annual Turkey Bowl football game between the New Canaan Rams and the Darien Blue Wave are available via online purchase this season. Now, this year's Turkey Bowl will be played at Stanford's Boyle Stadium at 10:30 a.m. Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, and tickets will also be available at the gate. Now, the move to Stanford was made to accommodate the large crowd that the game usually draws, as Boyle Stadium has a capacity of more than 10,000. Now, tickets are $10 and will also be available at the gate on game day. Now, children 5 and younger are free. Now, as the home team, Darien High School has introduced the online option for ticket purchases. Once tickets are purchased online, you will be directed to download the State Champs app and download the tickets directly to your phone. Now, paper tickets will not be sold at the New Canaan High School Athletics office. You can get more information at DarienTimes.com, and of course, you can opt to skip the game and watch it live Thanksgiving Day on the HAN network. All right, but let's throw it over to Frank Ornito now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We had the final of the FCIAC boys soccer squads playing in the Double L semifinals last night. The 20th seeded Norwalk Bears making it all the way to take on number 1 Naugatuck. A great game. It required extra time, and a PK awarded to Naugatuck in the 82nd minute would be the difference, as Vinicus Nupp scored the game's only goal. Lucas Arrojo and Sebastian Echeverry both with a great opportunity before the end of the first overtime, but making one of his 12 saves was Aaron Seeger for Naugatuck, as they will advance on to play Glastonbury in the championship. Congratulations again to Norwalk. What a great year for the Bears. Also playing in the semifinals out of the FCIAC in their respective sports, the Greenwich girls volleyball team will take on number 2 Southington this afternoon. St. Joe's, number 1 in Class M, they take on number 4 H&K. And the winner will play Seymour and East Haven in that tournament. Field hockey, you have 3 FCIAC squads remaining. Enfield takes on Darien. Staples and Greenwich will face each other in the second semifinal. And in girls soccer, 3 more FCIAC schools. Staples and Darien meet there. Ridgefield and Glastonbury, your other semifinal. Kevin Coleman and I will break down all of the upcoming semifinal action this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. For now, though, let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, I'm going to recap the top stories we're following today after this.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to coastalorthoct.com. Like them on Facebook.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And now, during our Black Friday sales event, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months, plus $1,000 retail bonus cash on select 2017 Ram 1500s. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
CT City Lacrosse is dedicated to helping youth and high school players reach their full potential. Director Mike Nazaro, head lacrosse coach at Stanford High School, is holding boys and girls indoor winter clinics for the 2017-2018 season at Bobby Valentine's Sports Academy in Stanford. Find out more and sign up at ctcitylax.com.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Had a sports injury?
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. In New Canaan, a dog and an electronic fire alarm system combined to alert homeowners at 50 Hemlock Hill Road early Tuesday morning that a fire was burning in their basement. Now, New Canaan Fire Department was called to the residence. Firefighters found a small fire burning, and they extinguished it with minimal damage. That, according to Fire Marshal Fred Baker. Well, faulty construction may have been to blame. Upon arrival shortly after the 2:54 a.m. call and with the use of thermal imaging cameras, firefighters found a small blaze behind a wall in the finished basement. Now, Baker said it was discovered that access to the fireplace was walled over when the basement was finished and no one was the wiser. He said to compound the matter, the door to the ash pit was not properly installed, allowing hot embers to fall into the wall cavity, starting that fire. The homeowner said they also used that fireplace quite frequently. Well, Baker said the homeowners were very lucky that the fire was discovered early and they were alerted by their alarm system, both canine and electronic. And the Norwalk Police Department and the families of 2 murder victims are asking for the public for help solving a 2011 cold case. Now, police with the family of Rakita Smalls and Iroquois Alston made a public plea yesterday requesting that anyone with information about the murder contact investigators. Now, Smalls and Alston were shot to death in a vehicle on August 6, 2011 on Avenue B. The state of Connecticut has offered a $50,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible. Now, there are several ways to share information. Anonymous internet tips can be left at norwalkpd.com. Calls can be made to police at 203-854-3011, or you can contact the Cold Case Hotline at 866-623-8058. And a Milford man was injured during an armed robbery this past weekend on Wood Avenue. According to Milford police, that attack occurred November 11th at about 2:30 a.m. A man and woman arrived back at the man's Wood Avenue residence. The man parked his car, and while he and the woman were still in the car, they were attacked, police said. Now, the man was taken to the hospital due to severe injuries to his head and face from being pistol whipped. At this time, it is believed the suspects were lying in wait, police said. Now, the 2 suspects were armed with handguns. One suspect stole cash and a cell phone from the male. The other stole the woman's cell phone and jacket. The suspects are described as a black man and a Hispanic man. No further description is available. They were last seen leaving the area in a gray 4-door SUV by a witness immediately after the attack. You can get more information at milfordmirror.com. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a day laborer from Guatemala was arraigned Monday on murder charges stemming from the death of Lois Colley, a socialite found bludgeoned to death in her North Salem home 2 years ago. Now, Edris Marijuan Gomez pleaded not guilty to several charges, including second-degree murder, and he was remanded into custody. Now, police said Gomez was identified as a suspect back in November 2015, just days after the 83-year-old Colley was found dead in the laundry room of her 300-acre estate. Now, authorities said a pin from a fire extinguisher was found next to Colley's body. The extinguisher, which police believe was the murder weapon, was found days later in a pond on the property inside a plastic bag that bore traces of Colley's DNA. Now, police said Gomez, who is also known as Victor, fled to Guatemala within days of the killing, but was later located in Mexico. He was taken into custody recently by federal agents while traveling through Miami. Now, Lois Colley and her husband were known for their charitable giving, and she was said to be fond of gardening, tennis, and horseback riding. All right, taking a turn, one final look at your forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds through this afternoon. Mostly cloudy out right now. We could see a passing shower in the next hour or so. Highs around 45 today, and then we'll see patchy cloud cover overnight with a low of 32. Partly sunny skies tomorrow. Temperatures a little warmer, topping out around 48 degrees. Not as windy out tomorrow. We'll see a light breeze around 6 miles per hour. Increasing cloudiness later on in the day, and overnight we could see a couple passing showers around the county before Thursday morning's commute. Going to be warmer out Thursday. Temperatures are back up into the mid-50s. Morning showers carry on until around noonish, but we should see the sun return after that. Mostly clear skies Thursday night and a low of 35. That's going to do it for the weather. I'm back at 2 o'clock with Kevin Coleman for Nutmeg Sports. For now, back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but as Frank said, 2 o'clock in Nutmeg Sports, and we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Have a great day.